want with your favorite people. Here's how it works. Log on to Facebook from your computer or tablet and go to the RJ Watkins fan page at facebook.com/TV33WHPR. The one with the blue WHPR logo on the left. Like us. Click the word videos with the red tag that says live next to it. Then click the share button at the bottom of the video player and select start a watch party. Invite whoever you want. Your party will be recorded and archived for playback anytime you want. Come on, let's have a party.
Pick up your copy of the Son of Man Speaks magazine today. With the Son of Man Speaks magazine, you'll receive automotive tips, whole understanding of the Word of God. Get your copy of the Son of Man. Sisters Braid 2, 18070 Mount Elliott, the Shell gas station, 13110 West 7 Mile Road. To get a subscription, call 601-786-9788. 601-786-9788. The Son of Man Speaks magazine, dedicated to becoming free indeed.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency-quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communication with print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective: to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166, or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com.
Well, we're moving on now to the side. In the sky.
Come check out the new Sisters Braid 2 hair braiding and natural hair care salon, located at 18070 Mount Elliott Street. Our new salon is spacious with adequate parking, Wi-Fi, and all brand new state-of-the-art salon equipment. Come meet your local hair braiders and natural hair care specialists, and check out our many hair care services, such as hair treatments, box braids, cornrows, tree braids, Havana twists, children's braids, natural twists, lock extensions, kinky twists, goddess locks, updos, full weaves, and more. Please feel free to visit us on the web at www.sistersbraid2.com or call 313-826-0498. Here at Sisters Braid 2, we offer exceptional care for exceptional hair. We look forward to seeing you. Sisters Braid 2 is a proud recipient of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund.
We would like to invite you to help support the efforts of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. Visit the website at www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. That's www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. We often hear how we each work together and rebuild the city, and we're actually doing it. You can make online donations and click on links to track the progress of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. And for more information, 313-868-0000 is a local number. Again, 313-868-0000. Support the Unity and Rebuilding Fund.
Have you ever searched through a shelf full of greeting cards and still couldn't find the one that echoes how you felt? Well, search no more and call Designs by Deej. We offer birthday cards. Our cards are one-of-a-kind keepsake items that your recipient will want to place on their mantle with all of their other beautiful and treasured items. We also offer holiday cards. With Designs by Deej, no holiday will go unnoticed. Our unique greeting cards are sure to celebrate all holidays. We also have cards for special occasions. We are your one-stop shop for unique and three-dimensional, handmade greeting cards for all occasions. Specializes. We also take custom orders. Every card is crafted with care and made with love. So call Designs by Deej today at 601-451-9536 or visit our website, www.designsbydeej.com.
WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
FM 88.1 WHPR, Highland Park. WVIE 107.3 FM Charlotte, Amalia, Virgin Islands. Brothers and sisters, are you tired of reading the Holy Scripture and not really understanding what you read?
Conference recording started. Conference recording started.
With someone that has a different view than your own? Then let's talk with one another. Then
The
let's
recording
reason
has
with
started.
one another on a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man every Wednesday at 9 p.m., Friday at 9 p.m., and Sunday at 12 noon on WHPR TV Detroit Live, 88.1 FM WHPR. Why don't you call and discuss the Holy Bible? And if you have one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scriptures and their true meaning. You can call it live on the air at area code 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. That's 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. And now, let's go live with a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. I greet all of you who are hungry and thirsty for Allah's righteousness, which is laid out in the instruction in righteousness called Holy Scriptures. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's Salam Alaikum. I want to give those who have what they believe to be justifiable disagreements with me, or with us, in what we are sharing with you. I say us, I mean any of the prophets' messages that you find in the Holy Bible or the Holy Quran. For I am one with them, and they are one with me. Meaning, we agree with each other. If you have a disagreement with any one of us, then you have a disagreement with all of us. So this is your opportunity that you may come in and apprise us of your religion. For we all have agreed that all of the religions of this world that you have been practicing for the past 6,000 years, and even longer than that, all of your religious doctrines are wanting. They are a farce, because none of them have brought peace to humanity, which means that the author of peace did not author what you have. Allah is the author of peace and not of confusion. So now I want to give you a chance to show me that what you have for religion is true. And if it is true, then, and it's not mine, then mine must be false. Thank you, baby. And I'm not going to tell you I'm going to go think it over. Nope. I'll tell you the same thing the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. If yours is right, it says, and yet it's not mine, then mine must be wrong. And I won't tell you that I'm going to go home and think over it. I'm going to join with you now, if you'll have me. So, now all of you out there, you got more preachers and more imams and rabbis and bishops and cardinals. And I mean, you got more of these folks than you can shake a stick at. You mean ain't none of you got nothing to say for your religion? Are you aware of what your silence says? Well, you in the judgment, so you know what nolo contendere means. If you're not going to contend, then you are acknowledging that your religions are guilty as charged. All of them are false. You know, if I was coming to you from books that you did not have any knowledge of, you would have much to argue with me about. But when I'm reading from the same Holy Bible and the same Holy Quran that you all been reading from, and coming up with something altogether different from what you've been teaching, you proving the point, and I'm proving the point, that what the Holy Bible said about no man being able to open the book, neither to look thereon, I'm proving that was true. Huh? Because all y'all been had these books. And I wasn't even thinking about being no preacher. No. Can't you tell the way I talk? I wasn't never thinking about being no preacher. Huh? You know, because, you know, you notice I don't talk like the preacher. You know, you get up there and drag out them and yes. You know how they do it, right? I ain't never wanted to be no preacher. Of course, I ain't never wanted to be nothing that this world, well, I take it back. I did for a little while entertain the thought of going into music and singing for a career. But just for a little while. But this, because they turned me off when I saw how much sodomite activity was going on in that. I didn't want to be in that world. So I don't mind telling you why I didn't want to go in there. You know, and at the time I was just telling them, look, brother, I ain't into that. And when he did it a second time, I'm sitting down singing, and he coming there putting his hand on my shoulder. I said, look, man, I told you I ain't in there. I'm out of here. And I just got him left. But so, you know, but this world, it really never, I ain't really, you ain't had nothing I want. No. Now I know why. I was born to bring an end to this world. Its way of thinking. All of the things that people in this world practice and have become creatures of what they practice. You know, I mean, how you sit up and you You're a bunch of hypocrites. Man, as I was reading the Declaration of Independence, it almost sent goosebumps, the way it reads, especially that part in there that talks about that all men are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. I mean, certain rights that no one can deprive you of. No laws, no nothing can deprive you of. And these are the right to life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Huh? You say all them beautiful things and then you get out here and do just the opposite. You say you believe people got a right to life, but then you want to take away their right to health care. Well, how the hell are you going to tell somebody they got a right to life, but they ain't got a right to have health care? Let me leave you alone because you about to go. I'm just telling you, y'all about to go. You better be glad you just elected a decent man. If you can get him installed in office. I don't know if he's going to get installed or not from the way y'all talking. But anyway, I'm going to keep my word. I promised that if he got it, I could to help him. And because that says a lot about the American people. You know, it's more people leaning towards trying to do the right thing than people leaning towards trying to do the wrong thing. You know, and so because of that, it gave me hope. It gives me hope. So I'm going to do all I can to help you hold on to your good thing, even though me and mine didn't have sense enough to hold on to our good thing. The Nation of Islam, the said Nation of Islam was the best thing that ever happened to the black community in America. Put them on the road. The messenger had us on the road to independence, had us on the road to respect and dignity and uprightness, and we threw it all away because we just couldn't get past color and see the truth, even though it was right in front of us. It's sad. I mean, I'm guilty. I ain't no sense me lying. I'm guilty too, thinking that just because somebody's skin was white, that made them devils. And even though the messenger, if they had let me have the theology of time before the messenger passed, if I had heard the theology of time, I would have picked up on that. Instead, I had to wait until after the messenger passed and they started selling the teachings. And then I happened to get some theology of time, and then my real growth and development started, my true growth and development. Let me show you. I ain't like you. See, I really did believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the messenger of God. So whatever he said, I knew in my heart that it came from God. And so I pay attention. And when he said something, I remember once he said, I say, my friend, getting acquainted with God is not like getting acquainted with the common fool. Huh? No, Getting acquainted with God requires depth of thought, not just hey, here, this is God and this is John. Here, I'm John and hi, God. It don't work like that. As the messenger said, if you're dealing with truth, you are dealing with God. Huh? Yeah, we're getting acquainted with the truth, man. Truth is like pearls. It's layered. When you learn one layer of it, you discover there's another layer to it. Huh? That's what a pearl is. You notice you cut a pearl and you see that it's layered like the earth itself. The earth is like a pearl. It has layers on it. You know, the crust, then you got the mantle, it just goes down through layers. Is that right? Okay, so truth comes like that. You know, it's certain things. It's just truth is like, let me see here. Since everything is created from truth, that's what I mean. There ain't nothing like the truth but the truth. But there are many examples of how we view the truth. That's what I'm telling you when I say it's like this or it's like that. You notice, one of the best examples was when Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant man that went out in search of goodly pearls. And when he found one pearl of great price, he went and sold all that he had and bought it. Huh? Okay. Then you had to go back to, the one who was given dominion over this world. In order to really understand that parable that Jesus spoke there, let me see if I can show you where it's at here. I think it's in 13th chapter of Matthew. And it says, just give me a minute here. Give y'all a little something. Let's see, I found when I'm on it there. I'll just erase that and go to this is in Matthew the 13th chapter and the 45th verse. It says, again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. You know, there are so many there's so many lessons in the book for me that are a lot left here for me if I was worthy of receiving them. And I had to grow into it so I could teach you. So you notice it says, freely you have received, so freely give. Huh? And you notice I ain't wrote no books and offered it up for no sale price to you. Huh? It's one little book I wrote called The Sun, Moon, and Star of Man. And I don't know if I I remember the messenger had said, if we charge you a little something for it, it's so that we can recoup what we put in it so we can do more, get some more. Because, we poor. But that's the only book I ever wrote. And then I didn't redo no more of them because, it was on my baby level when I had understood what 666 meant. And that was way back in, I think, 77, 76 or 77. And I grew into the knowledge of 6. And like the messenger said in the theology of time, he said he grew into the scientific knowledge of the number 6. Just like when he said 6 is the number of time. Yeah. As he said, that number represents time. You know why he said it represents time was because that 6th sense of ours, animals is created on 5. They have 5 senses. Man has those 5 plus 1, a 6th one that enables him to reason. And because we have that ability to reason and to create, for instance, nothing in the creation had a name. Man named all of these things. Man named tree, and then called it what kind of tree? Huh? We created that, right? And we created time. And no animals know nothing about no time. Man is the author of time. Do you understand? Okay, so that 6th time, that's the number of time, 6. So, but anyway, I was just telling you what the messenger said. I was just verifying that he told you the truth. That's all. Now, in this, in the theology of time, if I had heard the messenger say this, then I would have, while he was here, I would have understood that, because it was already some things that he had said about, Master Farad Muhammad's mother, that kind of made me have some kind of second thoughts about that maybe I wasn't understanding everything that I thought I understood. But I wasn't being so analytical then. I was too busy doing the job that I was given. I was selling fish. I was selling Muhammad Speaks. I was bringing people to the temple. I was doing everything that a believer was supposed to be trying to do. So I didn't have time to get into no real deep thought about the teachings. But there was one thing that the messenger said in the teachings was, are there any Muslims other than righteous? And the answer was, I beg your pardon? I've never heard of one. And so when we got the teachings that Master Farad Muhammad's father went up into the hills, or, ruling class of white people, and got him a white wife. And he made a good Muslim out of her. Well, how can you make a Muslim out of a devil? If white people is devils, then how can you make a Muslim out of them? So, but I didn't dwell on it because I said, okay, well, and I went on back to selling Muhammad Speaks and bringing people to the temple and believing in the messenger and not trying to second guess or argue with anything. I was busy paying attention. And, but it was still in the back of my mind later. But I never, not once, did I ever doubt that he was the messenger of God. In the first place, I had received too much good from him to be doubting him. I mean, I'm talking about the good that I personally received when I found out that I wouldn't die if I skipped eating for 3 days, and then marveled over how good I felt when I didn't eat. And I'd be walking down the street sometime, and I feel like something was pushing me along. I feel like sometimes I felt like I was floating down the street, and I said, boy, all this, and I never knew about it. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he taught me to fast. He taught me how to pray. He taught me how to truly love and respect my parents. And, I start, and how to love my people. It's one thing to love, to have a feeling of love for someone, but it's a whole different thing to know how to truly express it in your deeds and how to make it grow. So I'm, just like when he told us to go door to door, he was telling us that we got some good people. He said, our people are righteous and good people. And I hadn't seen that, growing up like I did. I saw some of the worst in us, not realizing that I was looking at the result of 400 years of being mistreated. And so, let's see you go through 400 years of the hell that we went through and see how you come out acting. Then point your finger at me and my people and tell us how low down we are, or how terrible of a people we are. Let's see you go through 400 years of slavery and mistreatment like we have suffered, and see how you come out acting. So I ain't gonna say my people don't get on my nerves sometimes, get on my last nerves sometimes. But I still remember how you got that way that gets on my nerves. And so as it's written, for all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Huh? Okay. So you listen to this. And, when I heard this, then I understood that the little voice in my mind that was questioning white people's skin. I remember even in Message to the Black Man, the messenger said, from here, I don't see any cover left for the white man's skin. What do you mean cover left for the white man's skin? So things like that, kind of stuck with me. No, I didn't think it was no misprint. I just thought that I wasn't understanding everything, and I wasn't. And that's the first step to understanding something, is to question whether or not you are understanding it. That's what most people miss. Most people in this world think it's a mark against them to say they don't understand a thing. or to say to themselves, I must be mistaken, I must not be understanding. And because they go off half understanding or not, which is this tantamount to misunderstanding. Because if you don't understand the whole thing, how are you going to make a complete assessment or judgment about what you have incomplete knowledge of? So you go off flying off at the handle, and you make bad judgment. And sometimes you can't recover from that. But listen to this.
The white race to produce what he has created, that which we didn't give him, and we can't do it. All that you have, we give it to you. The white man has nothing that he created. He fashioned something after our creation. We created everything that he got the base from to make what he wants to make. The iron, the steel was already here in earth. And he made his rule or kingdom from that which he found in the earth. That which he found in the earth was ours. That is why you find in the Bible here in Isaiah, he cracks down on him to prove to him that he is God and that he has.
Just a moment.
Cracks down on him to prove to him that he is God and that he has nothing to fight God with. He tells them that I created you. I created the instrument that you made for work. I created the iron steel. Show me, Mr. Devilman, what do you have to fight me with? I have power over my creation. Do you have power over your creation? No, because your creation is from mine. $9,000 years ago, remember this, that an enemy was produced to cause all of this trouble that has been coming to the white man for the last 6,000 years, whom we call white man and is the same devil. That's his real name, devil.
Now listen to this part real carefully, and then you will see why I got past and how what enabled me to get past his color and see that it wasn't his skin that made him devil. White skin don't make nobody a devil any more than black skin makes somebody God. No. But that white-skinned man was the one that devil was put in. That was new knowledge. As the book said, new wine must be placed in new wine bottles. Huh? Yaqub, the father of the knowledge, the father of the white race and the brown race and the yellow race. They are all called in the scripture the sons of Jacob. Do you understand? That's in Malachi. It says, I am the Lord and I change not. Therefore are ye sons of Jacob, not yet consumed. Huh? Okay. If there's any of you other than my black people who want to come in here and argue with me about what I'm saying, I welcome you to come do it. I told you, I don't stand up and say something that I'm not willing to entertain questions and arguments on. You know, if I'm giving you something that I don't know facts, I don't have facts that will back up what I give you, I would say, well, I believe this and this is what I believe and what you call it. And I will show you whatever facts that led me to that belief. But it's still my belief. And if it can be, it is yet to be proven to me beyond a reasonable doubt. And if there's something you have that can make me to doubt that that what I'm teaching, or what I'm believing, I should say, is not factual, as far as I'm concerned, you're doing me a favor. Because I don't want to be walking around searching based on falsehood. I want my parameters to be based in fact and rooted in facts, because only facts lead to facts. You know, lies lead to more lies. And truth leads to more truth. Do you understand? You'll notice, and here's your proof of it. In order, it's just like, that's what gets people in trouble when they get arrested by the police. The police may have a fact or two that they know, and they will, you know, give you your rights and then ask you to, do you want to talk to us? And they let you know, now anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. If he arresting you, he already thinks you're guilty. It's not a thing that he's arresting you. I mean, I'm telling you this as a disinterested observer. You know, no, nothing personal, just telling you how what his job is. His job is not to go around arresting innocent people. That's not his job. If he arrests you, then as far as he's concerned, you gave him probable cause to think that you were guilty of doing something, whatever they charging you with. And they even refer to you as a suspect. He's not your judge and he's not your jury. He is, he works for the state and he is your accuser. That you did something here and it's against the law and I'm gonna arrest you. Huh? Okay. And so that is, that's how that works. So as he questions you, maybe based on a fact that he does have, if he knows it's a fact, Well, then, if you lie, then your lie is not going to line up with his fact. Do you understand? And that's why if there's more than one of you, they'll take you and question you separately. And if you're telling the truth, both of you going, no matter how many questions they ask about the particular subject, both of you going to have the same story. But if you ain't telling the truth, you'll be done forgot just that quick. That just because your buddy ain't in there, that don't mean he ain't over there being asked questions too. And if y'all lying, it's going to show, because both of you going to have something different to say about what's going on. Okay. So when you tell a lie, you have to tell another lie to cover that lie. And then when you are questioned about that lie, you got to tell another one to cover that one. So your lies have to get bigger and bigger. Do you understand? Because they got to cover more. So pretty soon they get so big that you even have to fall out and laugh. Do you understand? Because they know you're lying, and you know you're lying. You know, so the best thing to do is don't put yourself in a position where you have to lie, because you can fool some of the people. Let me see. You can fool some of the people all the time, and all of the people some of the time. But you can't fool all the people all the time. And this is where this world got all messed up. You know? Let me tell you something. Fool me once, shame on you. It's just like they talking about Donald Trump talking about running again in 4 years. Well, if he run again in 4 years and you stupid enough to put him back in there, well, shame on you, not on him. Shame on you. So it's like we don't have to wonder what he will do now. Like with me, electing Joe Biden for president was a no-brainer. I wasn't in doubt about what he was. He was not no unknown quantity for us. We had seen him in action for the past 8 years. I say 8 years because that's how long I had started observing politics. Before Joe Biden and Barack Obama became president and vice president, I didn't have no interest in no political stuff in this country. The only reason I took interest in it was because I thought for a minute there, just for a second or two, I had to say, wait a minute. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that as long as the stars and stripes was flying over America, there would always be a white one in the White House. I heard him say that. That's in 1965. And I said, man, what's happening here? That got my attention. I said, wait a minute, something wrong here. You ain't supposed to be making no lie out of nothing a messenger of God said. And for a hot minute, I said, uh-oh. Then I thought about what he said in 1974. He said, he didn't prevent you from hoisting your own flag right up beside his. He didn't say take it down. He said, no, we hoist that flag right here on his soil. And he didn't say take it down. I said, well, so the crescent and star flying over America now too. Of course, it has always flown over America. Ain't no sense you frowning all up and getting your. You go outside and look up and see what you see up over your head. The sun, moon, and stars. They ain't just over America. They over every flag. I didn't hear you. So just sit down and shut up. And rejoice and be exceedingly glad. Because the Lord of them is standing here talking to you. But it took me time to grow into the knowledge where I could feel comfortable saying that. To get up and claim to be something that you are not able to stand the heat of people's disagreement, then if you can't stand people questioning you and disagreeing with the position you have taken, you really don't have a position. Huh? You played football before? Okay. Well, if you was let me see, you was one of the front four linemen. If every time if every time, well, let's say the first time you get, you let somebody get past you on that front foot and sack the quarterback. Well, the coach may call timeout and ask you, hey, what's happening with you, man? How you let that man get past you? And if you do it again, they call timeout again because they finna take you out the game. Huh? Why? Because you in a position that you can't defend. Is that right? Well, anyone who takes a position that they cannot stand questions on and people coming against them on, they don't belong in that position. This world just have a saying, it's a very simple saying, but it's still true. If you can't stand the heat, stay out the kitchen. Huh? If you can't stand people disagreeing with you, then you don't need to be in politics. Convince them that the position that you have taken, convince them. If they are reasonable and your position is right, then a reasonable person, you should be able to convince that you are right. And if you get into a back and forth about any position you have taken, and the person, if your position is reasonable, then you should welcome people come in arguing with you, because at least other reasonable people will recognize that if this person is not listening to reason, they will realize that you talking to a fool there, and they will even back you even more. You understand? Yes. I always welcome people coming in here thinking they're going to show me up. That's the first mistake you made. If you came in here for any other reason than to talk and reason about the Word of God and about the truth of the Word of God, if you just want to show me up, you started off wrong. And you gonna lose. But I want you to listen to the messenger real carefully on what he said here. I'm going to back it up a little bit so that you can see what led into it.
That's his real name. Yeah. You provide by color because that you didn't know who was under the color. When you go by color because that you didn't know who was under the color.
Did you hear that? He said, you. Oh, I mean, you say you see that white man there? Well, he the devil. You know, the baby don't even know what devil mean yet. Do you understand? You know? But by telling us that, it explains a lot of things as to why they turned human beings into personal property. That's what enabled him to do that. And, you know, it's just like, how many of y'all saw the movie, The Italian Job? You remember when Don Sutherland, you know, he had a cameo part in that because his part ended right at the beginning of it. But as he said, there's not people that I don't trust. He said it's the devil in them that I don't trust. Huh? The devil in you is the mind that's in you. Do you understand? The mind that's in you is the mind that Yaqub put in humanity. As the book said, I will place a ruler in the earth, a mind in earthen vessels. Do you understand? And that earthen vessel that he put the corrupt mind in is the white man. Yaqub was a black man. And when he was questioned about why would he do that, he said, surely I know something that you don't know. I understand something that you don't understand. So I'm doing this. And so he made the devil and gave him dominion. As the devil told Jesus, he said, he showed him all the kingdoms of the world. He said, all this power, all this knowledge was given unto me. It was delivered to me. And I give it to whomsoever I will. Just like a disease. You know, he walking around with the mind of wickedness in him, spreading it to everybody. You understand? He was told to do that. He said, go and have dominion over every creeping thing that creep on earth. Take them all to school. And he took us all to school. Do you understand? But his problem now is not what he's been doing for the past 6,000 years. Because that was ordered. He was ordered to do that. His problem is that he was also ordered to stop when I got here. And he's still trying to do it. Now, you're going to see mass murder, suicides, and all kind of stuff because you wouldn't stop. No, you think this is some kind of joke. It ain't gonna be no joke after a while. I want to show you how much you have lost your mind. I mean, you literally, there's mass insanity creeping into the United States and all over the earth right now. And in order to see it, you have to be sane. Did you hear what I said? How many of you doubt what I said, what I just said? You still scheming and making evil plans against people who haven't did you an atom's weight of harm. Soon, all those plans you've been making, you know who you're going to wind up carrying them out on? The people that you claim to love. Mark my words. Okay. I ain't gonna keep on going back and forth with you. Sure ain't. Yeah, let me show you something here. You better repent. The scripture told you this, and this is in Isaiah. And I know you don't believe in the scripture. It's just like all of you hypocrites out there that call yourself Christians and evangelical Christians. You ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. Did you hear what I said? You are nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. Which of you can come in here and tell me that Donald Trump is not a liar? Come in here and tell me that you don't believe Donald Trump is a liar. Now, just one of you, and stay on the phone and keep that nasty mouth of yours in check. And when I say that nasty mouth, I don't mean that as an insult. I mean a lot of you be cussing and swearing and going on. Don't come in here with that. But I will let you speak, and I will let you inform me as to why you say Donald Trump is not a liar. I remember when he told you don't believe anything you hear. I remember that. Tell me this. Since when did Allah, God, ever send a liar or a man to purposely lie to you? When? Name one representative of God that was a liar. You know they called Jesus a liar. Just like a lot of you had for one while there was running in here calling me a liar. And I offered you $50,000 and my life if you could show me what I lied about. I notice you ain't said nothing. So now, since you know that Donald Trump is a liar, what were you doing supporting him? Come on, just tell me that and I'm through with it. What were you doing supporting a man that you knew is nothing but a liar? What kind of deal you done struck with the devil? And you supposed to be righteous people? Let me show you something here. We need to talk. Now I want you to pay attention to this. Now, because you have a habit of pretending that you don't know, you don't remember things, or you don't remember hearing somebody say something. You know what Donald Trump's plan for you was if he got elected, re-elected? You know what his plan for you was? All this news that you hearing about 19, you wasn't gonna hear none of that no more. He was setting the stage. You was just gonna be dying like flies, and he wasn't gonna, and you wasn't gonna know it. You wasn't gonna know it unless it was happening to somebody in your family. Yeah, but just a moment. Now watch this. Because, well, let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. Before I let you see that, I want you to hear him. Let's see. Oh, I think I got it already on the cue card here. So let's just bring it up right off of my desktop. Let's see here.
But once you do that, you can't deal with them anymore. Once you do that, you can no longer do what's right for you. They prolong the pandemic. That's all I hear about now. That's all I hear. Turn on television. Right? COVID, 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 COVID. A plane goes down. 500 people dead. They don't talk about it. COVID, 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 COVID. By the way, on November 4th, you won't hear about it anymore. So,
did you hear that? On November 4th, you won't hear about it anymore. He was setting you up to lie to you by not saying anything anymore about it, to make you think it was gone, unless you knew from personal experience that it wasn't. But look, now, he said after November 4th, you wouldn't hear about it no more, right? That was his plan for you if he won. To just lie you right into the graveyard. Just wait.
COVID! COVID! Please don't go and vote, COVID. Please do not, under any circumstance, you cannot go out and vote, except the problems are that in Florida, the people that are going out to vote, nobody's ever seen anything like it. Because anyway. So, COVID! COVID! Please don't go and vote, COVID. Please do not, under any circumstance, you cannot go out and vote, except the problems are that in Florida, the people that are going out to vote, nobody's ever seen anything like it. Because they're tired of all of this stuff. They're tired of such negativity. Hey, by the way, I had it. Here I am. I mean,
he said they tired of it, so we gonna stop talking about it. Huh? He didn't say he gonna do nothing about it. He gonna just let you die. And that's the man that you vote. 70 million people voted for to be president. Why can't you come in here and defend what you did? I mean, I'm standing up defending who I voted for and defending my vote. Come in here and tell us all, tell the world why you voted for Donald Trump to have a second term. Why? Oh, because you thought it was going to hurt me. You're going to hurt black people. It's white people dying from that plague too. I told you, when you hate skin, you hate all skin. You just don't know it. But let some skin that you claim to love disagree with you, and you hate them too, even though they look like you. As long as Michael Cohen was agreeing with Donald Trump and agreeing with y'all, y'all loved him. The minute he started disagreeing with you, then what you want to do to him then? Mistreat him just like you mistreat anybody that don't agree with you. You think that gives you a license to mistreat people because they don't agree with you. And you call yourself superior? That's not a superior mindset. That's an inferior mindset. That's the stuff I used to see in elementary school. Some big bully going over there, if somebody smarter than him or whatever, say something that and tell him that, that was wrong what you did over there. Say it again, I'll bust you in your mouth. Huh? Ain't nothing superior about you. That's why you're so insecure that anybody who disagree with you, you run from them or threaten them. And frankly, you're starting to make me feel sick to my stomach. And I know that don't mean nothing to you, but it should. Just wait. He told you. Now, just a moment.
They prolong the pandemic. That's all I hear about now. That's all I hear. Turn on television. Right? COVID. A plane goes down. 500 people dead. They don't talk about it. COVID. By the way, on November 4th, you won't hear about it anymore. So.
Yeah. Won't hear nothing about it anymore. If it go like he planned. Huh? I remember when I was in barber school, barber college, and we got to the part where we was into public relations and how to deal with the public. And I know I've told you this before, but some people are new to the class and they ain't heard this. And the instructor, I went to American Barber College, and it was mixed, but the instructors were white, and some of them were white, and some were black. The one who was teaching the public relations, he was white, and he said, you got your Sierra together when you can tell somebody to go to hell and they enjoy packing for the trip. And we all kind of laughed. I even laughed. I mean, I was in Islam then, but it was funny the way he put that, because I took it in a positive sense that, look, you always want your customers to be happy. But when you get that customer that's so disagreeable, you got to know how to handle them and get them out of your face without making them not want to come back and spend some more money with you. And so he's saying, you got it together when you can tell them to go to hell and they enjoy packing for the trip. And Donald Trump telling them people to go kill themselves, and they enjoying packing for the trip to go do it. I have to give him that. He he tapped into their ignorance, and he's using it against them. Do you understand? I mean, even when he stood up and said, when he sat there in the meeting and told in front of this lady that told on him and said that this virus is, something positive came out of it, that it keeps me from having to shake hands with all disgusting people, with all these disgusting people. The only people you see him out shaking hands with is people who supporting him, which agrees with what Howard Stern said. He said the people who love Donald the most are the ones that Donald hates the most. Huh? What do you suppose? Donald Trump calls everybody a loser that ain't rich. Well, huh? I mean, if you join the military, you're a loser. If you get killed in action, you're a loser. Is that right? Well, if you're poor, you're a loser. Huh? Okay. Well, who is the most people that support him? A bunch of poorly educated, poor people. Losers. And as far as he's concerned, they are expendable. And so, don't wear no mask. Just go on out. Don't wear a mask. Just go out like soldiers. Go warriors. Go be warriors. And they said, yeah. Where? Donald Trump look at him in his mouth. Watch. Even when they don't even have sense enough to see that he's not really smiling at them. He's jeering at them. And they don't know the difference. Because they're so blinded by their self-indulgent hatred of anybody who's not like them. It's sad. Anyway, now, after November 4th, you won't hear no more about COVID, right? Well, we after November 4th, and we still hearing about it, right? Why? Because he lost. Huh? If he had won, he already had a doctor. He found a doctor, whatever it's supposed to be, and said herd immunity will take care of this. Huh? Okay. And these people don't know nothing about no herd immunity. They don't know herd immunity requires a vaccine. And it requires a whole lot of people being vaccinated so that by them being with other people and contacting with other people, those antigens or antibodies that's in them can be passed on through breathing and through touching and that kind of thing. But you got to first have somebody that the virus has not, you have to have a lot of people that virus has not any power over anymore. And you sit up here following people that don't know nothing. I don't know nothing enough about virology to be standing up here telling you about what's going to work and what ain't going to work. I know this. The scientists told us to wear masks. I'm going to wear a mask. Now you suit yourself. But if you don't have no mask on, don't you come around me. Now, let's see here. Now, let's see.
Good day, everyone. I'm Andrea Mitchell in Washington as we honor the military on this Veterans Day. And an unyielding President Trump still preventing the Biden transition from moving forward and still refusing to concede. The president making his first public appearance in 6 days to commemorate Veterans Day after firing his fourth defense secretary and installing loyalists at top civilian ranks in the Pentagon. President-elect Joe Biden also observing Veterans Day today, traveling to Philadelphia and honoring soldiers, including his son, Beau. On Tuesday, Biden was asked about President Trump's refusal to let any of the government agencies cooperate with the Biden transition, including denying Biden the president's daily intelligence brief.
I just think it's an embarrassment, quite frankly. I think it will not help the president's legacy.
How do you expect to work with Republicans if they won't even acknowledge you as president-elect?
They will. They will. Thank you all so very much.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell following the president's lead as he tries to save the Republican majority by winning those 2 Georgia Senate runoff elections in January. McConnell almost has almost all of the Republican senators following him in lockstep. Joining me now, NBC White House correspondents Kristen Welker and Peter Alexander, co-hosts of Weekend Today, and 2 members of President Obama's 2008 transition team, Chris Liu and Stephanie Cotter.
To this point, 5 world leaders.
Coronavirus cases are escalating rapidly in an uncontrolled surge. Nearly 62,000 people were hospitalized in the U.S. yesterday. That's a record high as medical facilities are bursting at the seams. There is no coordinated federal response. A new epicenter emerging in Texas, the first state to surpass 1 million cases. El Paso is hardest hit, with more people hospitalized in that border city of 700,000 than in some entire states. The strain causing the city to bring in new mobile morgues. All this amid a legal.
You heard what she said? Causing the city to have to bring in mobile morgues. And just in case you don't know what a morgue is, it's a place where they put dead bodies, dead people, because the funeral homes are full. If they put them in funeral homes, because that virus don't die just because the person died. Now just pay attention. This is what Donald Trump gave you.
After a county judge issued an executive shutdown order. And that's been challenged by the state government. Joining me now is NBC's Morgan Chesky in El Paso. Morgan, how are they going to resolve this? The legal dispute, first of all.
Yeah, Andrea, that is a very good question, and we could see this play out all the way up to the Texas State Supreme Court. That order that shut down all the non-essential businesses here in El Paso expires at midnight tonight. I've had a chance to speak to that county judge. He tells me his gut tells him to extend it due to support from the medical community and the sheer rising numbers in nearly every statistic COVID-related here in El Paso, but he has yet to make that final decision as of right now. As you can see behind me, these are just some of those tents that have been brought in to try to accommodate that influx of patients this community is seeing. We know that medical personnel from the Air Force and the Army doing the best they can to try to handle these COVID patients here that are more stable in these tents. Meanwhile, as this order is being argued back and forth, the judge tells me that it's frustrating to see a community not take it as seriously as he'd like. Take a listen.
They're looking at yesterday's numbers and wondering if it makes sense. I'm looking at our numbers today and the trajectory of what would happen if we don't intervene. What do you tell the families right now, right this very moment, that they can't come and that their loved ones' bodies are in these trailers? What do you tell them? We're fighting the virus and they're fighting whether or not I have the authority.
And any normal community, that judge wouldn't be sitting up trying to explain why he's shutting things down and taking precautions to save lives. Wouldn't have to explain that. If anything, people would be asking, what have you been waiting on? How come you all ain't doing something? Right? But no. Didn't the scientists tell you that this virus is not limited to your lungs? It affects the brain, it affects your heart, it affects many different parts of the body depending on the patient. Huh? And your best protection is don't get it. Wear a mask. Huh? Okay. Didn't I tell you people losing their mind? I did tell you that, didn't I? What does that sound like? A judge got to argue with people whether he got the authority to order a shutdown in the middle of people dying, so many people dying, that they have to use mobile morgues, freezer trucks. The scripture is jumping off the page in Isaiah. It says in the 9th chapter of Isaiah, it says, in the 16th verse, it says, for the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Huh? Therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall he have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For every one of them is a hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. In other words, speaks lies. And for all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. I mean, just look.
Andrea, those mobile morgue trailers are located just about 100 or so yards from where I'm standing. So tragic to hear that due to the sheer influx of patients and bodies, the judge told me that families are climbing a nearby parking garage to look down on those trailers to say their final goodbyes. Andrea?
That is heartbreaking. Morgan Chesky, thank you so much. Dr. Mario Ramirez joining me now. Dr. Ramirez, an emergency room physician now in McLean, Virginia, but the former acting director at the Office of Pandemic and Emerging Threat at the Department of Health and Human Services. Also, Dr. Ramirez, I think you're a Texas native. Just the prospect of people climbing a garage to look out at a trailer to say farewell to their loved ones is beyond heartbreaking. I don't even know how to describe it.
It's really terrible, Andrea. And I think, this is terrible on a number of levels. Obviously, it's super sad for the families themselves. It's very frustrating, I think, because we could have really avoided this situation with some better planning. I think this is really where the issue of state control and kind of local responsibility has really broken down. I know you and I have talked about this several months ago. But the other thing I think it points out, is that for folks who keep talking about this idea of natural herd immunity, this is what that looks like. When we let the virus spread unchecked, this is going to be what happens all across America.
And it's really Scott Atlas's influence on the president. This is this doctor. He's not an infectious disease expert. He's a radiologist from California, and he was a Fox commentator. He ends up in the White House. They push out the experts for all intents and purposes. They don't have White House task force meetings. They had the first one 2 days ago from October. And now you've got this lack of a federal response. The CDC belatedly yesterday putting out the guidance that masks work both ways, that it helps you as well as the person around you, when it was totally available information for months.
Yeah, I think you're right, Andrew. I mean, I think, there were two pieces of helpful information in that report, though. I mean, I think the first, right, is that it does seem like it helps the wearer both from contracting the disease and from spreading it. And that certainly meets the sort of common sense threshold. But the other thing I think it did was make an economic argument for more mask wearing. In their economic analysis, they were able to show that if we just had, greater universal compliance by about 15%, we could save about $1 trillion in lost GDP. And so what I think that, tries to tell people who are not necessarily believers in mask wearing from the science perspective, the message that I would want them to hear is that, if you can just buy into this and use the mask, that you can help your fellow business people and other folks that are just trying to stay afloat for the next couple of months until we get to the vaccine.
And how much is the failure of cooperation with the transition going to impede the efforts of the incoming Biden administration to get up to speed quickly on the pandemic?
Well, we've certainly seen that, poor coordination allows this virus to spread regardless of who's in office, right? I think that's what has allowed a lot of this to spread over the last 6 months, is that the federal government has not been well coordinated with the states. I think the folks that are part of the Biden transition team and the pandemic task force are some of the smartest people that I know, and I have every confidence that they'll be able to get things under control. But we're clearly about to experience a pivot in the policy and the way that the federal government is approaching this. And I think the longer that we forego that cooperation, the longer it's going to be before we're able to make that pivot. And I think there's a lot of pain for the country ahead the longer that we hold that off.
Dr. Mario Ramirez, it's always good to see you. Thanks so much for your expertise. And a shakeup at the top levels of the Pentagon is alarming national security officials and former officials worldwide as Trump loyalists take over senior leadership posts following the firing of Defense Secretary Mark Esper this week and the house cleaning of his top aides. The Trump loyalists who have been elevated include former aides to Mike Flynn and Republican Congressman Devin Nunes, and a Fox News regular who once called President Obama a, quote, terrorist leader. Joining me now, President Bill Clinton's former Defense Secretary William Cohen, who has also served in both the House and Senate as a Republican senator and House member from Maine. It's great to see you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you very much for being with us at a really consequential time in national security. This Pentagon shakeup, right up the command, the civilian command. What concerns do you have about national security with the refusal of the administration to cooperate in any way with intelligence sharing or any other kind of transition access?
Well, it is completely inappropriate. It is reckless. It is consistent with how Donald Trump has conducted the presidency. He has determined from the outset to bend every institution to his will, to bend it and to corrupt it in the sense that he's politicizing institutions that most American people think should be non-political. When you're talking about the Justice Department, the State Department, the Defense Department, even the Postal Service, he has managed to try and politicize them and to say, I have the power. My power is absolute. It's unconditional. And you either serve me or you get out. And so many of those who are required to follow the command of the commander-in-chief are coming to the conclusion that the orders that he's giving are inappropriate, they're either illegal or they're unethical. And therefore, some of them are resigning as a result of that.
And the State Department is also not facilitating calls between foreign leaders and the incoming Biden administration because of the GSA's refusal to acknowledge the election results. But it's basically because of what the president is demanding. So the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, yesterday dismissing the outcome of the election. Listen to these two exchanges he had with reporters.
Is the State Department currently preparing to engage with the Biden transition team? And if not, at what point does a delay hamper a smooth transition or pose a risk to national security?
There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration.
This department frequently sends out statements encouraging free and fair elections abroad.
Yes.
And for the losers of those elections to accept the results, doesn't President Trump's refusal to concede discredit those efforts?
That's ridiculous. And you know it's ridiculous.
So what signal does that send to dictators around the world, Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, the leaders in Beijing, with what's going on in Hong Kong right now?
Well, it doesn't surprise them. After all, the president has made a policy of hugging dictators and insulting our allies. So they have seen how hypocritical we have been, that we are holding the lamp of liberty up for other nations to follow us. And yet he is pursuing power in a way that he wants to emulate what Kim Jong-un can do, what Vladimir Putin can do, what other autocrats or dictators can do. He wants that power. So those who are supporting him really are contributing to subverting our own democratic values. My former Republicans used to believe in the rule of law. I don't see that any longer. It's now the law of rule. I have the power, I'm going to exercise it, and you have nothing to say about it. So I think it sends a signal to the adversaries that we have that the president is going to continue to try to do what he can to throw chaos into our system, throw as many monkey wrenches as he can into the bureaucratic system. But the good news is that Joe Biden knows exactly what needs to be done. He's got a team of advisors who are really well seasoned. I'm sure they have access to a lot of information from within, notwithstanding President Trump. And I can tell you the difference. When President Bush 43 won the election, the first thing I did was to call his designated Secretary of Defense, Don Rumsfeld, and I said, Don, here are the 10 things I think you really have to look at when you come into this office. I'll sit down and go over. I made a list, and it came out to 59. And I sat down with him for 2 days, going over the 59 items that they really had to be concerned about. And that's traditional. That's what a democracy is supposed to be about, that you want your successor to be in a position to protect and defend the interests of the American people. And when you stop doing that, when you throw monkey wrenches in, when you stop communicating and said, I'm not going to help them, I'm not going to inform them, you're putting our nation at risk. This is totally contrary to the duty and the oath that the President of the United States and all those who serve them took to protect and defend the American people. And when you don't help the incoming administration protect the country, then you have failed in your duty. You have really you have failed royally, if I can use the word royal, because the president wants to act like a royal, that everyone else is in his court, and they must pay obeisance and pay tribute to him. And now you have people in positions of power that he can call on and say, I want you to do the following. And those individuals are more likely to say, yes, sir, Mr. Commander, yes, Mr. President, rather than say, Mr. President, I think this is probably inappropriate. I think this may be illegal. I think this is unethical. Where are the people going to be that will stand up to him and say, Mr. President, we can't do this? Well, he wants to make sure that he doesn't have anybody in those positions that have the backbone and the willingness to at least tell the president, this is not advisable. This is contrary to the best interest of this country. You, Mr. President, said you are a wartime president. In that capacity, you should have been relieved of your duty long ago, because the first story you've been talking about, we have mobile morgues being sent around the country now. The bodies are piling up, and the president hasn't said a word about that. He continues to complain about the vote counting. It's birtherism redux. It's the same old story about birtherism. He wants to discredit the president who's coming into office, as he did with Barack Obama. So it's a sorry state of affairs, but it won't last much longer.
Well, former Senator, former Secretary William Cohen, thank you so much. Thank you for your wisdom on all of this. And today, on this Veterans Day, we're honoring those who served, including a 99-year-old World War II paratrooper still jumping into action. Here's NBC's Kevin Tibbles reporting first for Nightly News.
And standing up out there pretending to honor the veterans, a draft dodger. Yeah. One thing I will say, I ain't seen no Marines that supported him yet. I know it's some probably out there that do, but I've been in the Marine Corps, and I didn't meet no cowards in there. So You know, I'm kind of like, what's his name? What's that little bald head fella name that come on there that was predicting that Joe Biden would win? George Carvel, what's his name? James Carvel. Yeah, he was. He said he was an E4. That's what I was. So a corporal. A E4 is a corporal. And yeah, that's as high as I got. But I wasn't in there but 3 years. I was signed up for 4, but I got out in 3. So, but anyway, you know, I just, you know, it's amazing to me how people can be duped into going along with something that's not in their best interest simply because they was baited in with something that they was a little hungry for. Ain't that something? See why my daddy told me, you know, he said, Marvin, what make a little fish grow to be a big fish? And he'd see me sitting down sometime mad or upset. Now I even know why he asked me that when I was upset about something. Because people, when they find that you're upset about something, if they come and offer you, yeah, let's go get that so-and-so, we can do this or we can do that. If you ain't careful, you let yourself get baited into doing something based on your emotional distress at a point in time that may later on wind up being something that destroys you. So he used to ask me that when I would be mad sitting up with my mouth stuck out. He said, what make a little fish grow to be a big fish? And I'd tell him, I don't know. He said, because he careful what he bite. And he laughed. And I guess he knew that would stick with me. So I've learned to be careful what I, never make an important decision while you are angry. Oh, Georgia. I want to say to those in Georgia, if you really want the country to start being healed, you need to give President Biden a Senate that he can get cooperation from, whether the McConnell and all of them like it or not. I know that Joe Biden will still try to work with them because they've already proved that. When Joe Biden was vice president and Barack Obama was president, it wasn't the Obama administration refusing to work with the Republicans in the Senate and in the House. It was the Republicans in the Senate and in the House that refused to work with them. But even sometimes, with the help of Joe Biden, they came to agreements. So you don't have to worry about whether Joe Biden would get in there and just bowl over the Republicans and just do things to spite them. He wouldn't do that. But they sure would do things to spite him, as they have proven. They didn't care how the Democrats felt about anything. Them judges and all of those things, because they was in a position to just bowl over, they bowled over. Which is proof that they're not interested in the United States of America. They're interested in one thing. The the control by their party of the United States government. That's what they are interested in. So in other words, if you a Democrat, as far as they're concerned, you ain't got no representation if they the majority. You understand me? You get yourself out and vote. This ain't no time to sit down and let them have it now. It's time to make your voice heard. And if nothing else, if you get out there and vote and show them that if the Democrats all vote, they can vote themselves into all of these offices that you now hold. That alone will make them start realizing that they better make sure when they get up there, they better try to do right by everybody. Yeah. At least that's my take on it. So, I want to, anyone have something they want to get on me about what I just said, or anybody have something they want to ask me before I go into some scriptures with you? But it was one other thing that I taped that
As the nation observes Veterans Day, I'm Ayman Mohideen here in New York. There are 70 days left in the Trump administration, and America is witnessing a fast mounting coronavirus crisis. As the University of Washington's Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation projects 372,000 deaths by Inauguration Day in January, the current president of the United States, Donald Trump, has fallen silent. President Trump is in one of the longest stretches.
they say he done fell silent. Well, he said he wasn't gonna say no more about that virus, didn't he? Huh? Because he thinks that the majority and his supporters, they just go along with whatever he do. If it's okay with you, if it's 372 to 74,000 people, Americans dead between now and January. You don't care, huh? That's what Joe Biden meant when he said he was wanting to restore the soul of the American people. I understand that. It's just like that's what I needed. That's what black people needed after 400 years of mistreatment. That's what we need. As David said, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. You know, I tell you what. Yeah, I've seen buildings in the South here that were declared national monuments, and they were all shoddy and ran down. And then you see a sign up when people working on them, restoration. They were restoring that rundown building, that building that was all tore up. They were restoring it. The American people need restoring. The world needs restoring. to replace morals, put it back in us. For the past 3 years and 11 months going on now, the little faithful, the little righteousness and morals that you did have left, Donald Trump done wore that out. Now you walking around here naked. You done forgot all about love your neighbor as yourself. As you would that men do unto you, do ye also unto them. Is that what you practice there with this stuff in the Senate? Remember, George Washington warned you that if religious principles and morals desert the oaths of office, where would the safety for property, for life itself, where would that be? If people's words and their oath don't mean nothing. Well, you see where it is just about to cost you your republic. Oh, yes, it is. It's just about to destroy this experiment you got here, this democratic republic that's unlike any other government that exists or existed before it. It's about almost destroyed. Wherever you find people that refuse to recognize each other as brothers, it's just like you ever watch the football team practice? When they scrimmaging, you got the same teammates tackling each other and practicing against each other. They supposed to remember that they the same team. You ain't supposed to be hitting each other with all that you got. Coming out there mad at each other and shoot. You destroying your own team. That's what you have come to now. I can recognize that. I grew up in a people that hated each other. That's why we on the bottom all over America. And everybody that come here look at us and shake their head, black brother and sister. Because they see that we hate ourselves. We hate each other. We can't stand to see one another with anything. If one of us try to get up, the rest try to pull him down. And we are crisis-oriented people. Only time you see us act like we want to come together is if some white police officer shoot one of us down or murder one of us. Too bad we don't take that camaraderie and that love for ourselves all year round and put a stop to us slaughtering ourselves. I remember when them gangs was going around in America, Al Capone, Babyface Nelson, Machine Gun Kelly, Bonnie and Clyde, and all them people going in there robbing banks and killing up white folks. Pretty soon, the FBI and Elliot Ness and all them fellas, them white folks, they got together and they said, we're going to put a stop to this stuff. And they put a stop to it too. John Dillinger, all of them, they put a stop to it. You through running through our community terrorizing us. It's just like when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was here. You know, Yeah, and we still ain't. We Muslims, you ain't terrorizing us. Oh, no, you ain't. No. Nope. That's, I mean, we love each other. Now, that should tell you all you need to know about messing with us. Yeah. But anyway, that ain't going for bad. When the last time one of us came out there trying to start something with you? We don't. We stay out your way. We give you a wide berth. You ain't got to worry about us. But leave us alone. For we certainly will leave you alone. You don't want to be bothered with me? I guarantee you, you won't see me up in your face. Nope. I ain't going where I ain't wanted. Yeah. But to get back to that Senate race in Georgia, send those two Democrats up there to help Joe Biden negotiate, not bowl over and keep all of this division going. Send them up there when it's 50-50. Then the Republicans know that the vice president could come in there and settle it. But if you send it 50-50, before the vice president come in there and settle it, see if the Democrats and the Republicans can come to an equitable arrangement without that. Yeah. Work with each other. Look, I ain't telling you to do something I didn't try to do. I tried my best to talk to W.D. Muhammad. I tried my best to talk to Mr. Farrakhan. I did talk to Minister Abdul Kareem, and me and him on good terms right now. We talk. He done been here and visited me. How many times, brother? At least 3, huh? Yeah. Me and him talk, and when I go out west, we still brothers. I mean, he was one of the first teachers I had. What I look like dishonoring him? I won't dishonor him. But I just couldn't go the way him and the rest of them went. I couldn't do that. I'm just telling you, we can, if we just remember. And I don't know how you think people go through the school system of the United States and somehow everybody come out different. No, everybody come out no different. We come out the same. With the same English, the same math, the same history, the same everything. They want to act like we foreigners to each other. No, all of us basically got the same principles that we look up to or strive for. We just ain't the same color. I mean, when you gonna grow up, man? I'm trying to help you, man, but it's getting late. And I understand what's meant when it says, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found." If you don't know what that means, go and visit an insane asylum. Now, some of you have witnessed people who you used to know that were in their right mind and sane, and you could talk to them and reason with them, and they were fine. And something happened that now you go and try to talk to them, and it's the same as you talking to a wall or something. They gone. They mind gone. It's like they never knew you. Well, the scripture told you you better seek the Lord. Well, the Lord is the truth. You better seek the truth while you can recognize it. Most of you, it's a whole lot of you, it's too late already. Because you take a lie for the truth, and you take the truth for a lie. And what I mean is, you mistakenly believe in lies, thinking that the lie is the truth because it's what you wanted to hear. And you mistakenly believe that the truth is a lie because the truth makes demands on you that for change and for better conduct that you don't want to do. So you don't want to hear that. Well, the book tells you you better seek the Lord while he may be found. This is the sixth verse of chapter 55 of Isaiah. It says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found by you. Call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way. What is the way of the wicked? He said, my Lord, as thou hast judged me to be erring, I shall certainly make evil fast seeming to them on earth and cause them all to deviate, except thy servants from among them the purified ones. And Allah told him, that's a right way for you with me. As regards to my servants, you have no authority over them except such of the deviators who follow you, and I will certainly fill hell with them all. Huh? What is hell? Hell is misunderstanding. Oh, yeah. Let me see here.
Allah makes a messenger or apostle to contend with an opponent of his. He's not enough for God himself to attack. So Allah makes an apostle to attack him and show his apostle how to win. Because he knows both. He knows the devil and he knows his apostle. His apostle is from God himself, the beginning of man. From this, he makes the apostle aware of all the thoughts and all of the attacks of Satan, all of his arguments, then given the knowledge how to refute the enemy's arguments, given the knowledge how to make the enemy to bow to him. This is true. As I'm here, the enemy do bow to me. I'm going to tell you this as the time is up. I'm put here and the answer to what you read in the Bible that Jesus said of himself, that he would get done whatever he will. And whatever Allah will, they both work together in the will. For a little you think of it, I'm just like that. Whatever I will, Allah will make it to come to pass. Since Jesus recognized the fact that he was not that man, that prophet, that one that will come in the last, he was not that. He had to die for his mistake. What was the mistake? The mistake was that he thought he was on time. But he learned that it was not on the time to usher in the judgment of this world. So then he prophesied and admitted that he was the head of time. He was not on time for it. So then he prophesied in his acknowledgement of his failure to come on the due time of the end of the world. That he couldn't do it because it was before the time of the world. So then he prophesied. But, in words he said, when he comes, what he is that? He said the one that Moses prophesied of. And now I see through the Moses prophesied that that man is yet to come. He will give life to the dead. And he will destroy the enemy that I'm ready and hope to destroy. That I'm ahead of the time.
Now, before I let him finish, that what he just told you was the 7th chapter of the book of John. In the 7th chapter of the book of John, Jesus was speaking, and he said what the messenger said. This is the Jesus' own brothers didn't believe him, you know. That's what I was telling my older sister, that you better go back and read. Mary, and which was Jesus' mother, and his brethren, James, Joseph, and all of them, they didn't follow Jesus. They didn't believe in him. So, in the 6th verse, look what Jesus said. Then said Jesus unto them, my time is not yet come, but your time is always ready. The world cannot hate you, but me it hated, because I testify of it, that the works thereof are evil. Go ye up unto this feast. I go not up yet unto this feast, for my time is not yet full come. Huh? Well, the messenger told you what you need is the light of understanding. Because misunderstanding is the hell to man. Huh? Wherever you see people crying and gritting their teeth and bearing it, there shall be weeping and what? Gnashing of teeth, gritting of teeth. Why? That's hell. Why? Because the reason they're crying is because they got troubles and problems that they don't know the answer to. They don't know the solution. They don't know the truth. Huh? So they cry and they grit their teeth and bear it. Huh?
So, in words he was saying, keep waiting. He will be alone, whom the Father will send from himself. I guess you say you're preaching too long. But when you go to analyze what is written, it takes you longer to do that than the writer. The writer could soon write it out, but he didn't know what he had wrote. So, I said, my beloved listeners, that it takes more time to untangle the entanglement than it did to tangle it up. Now, if this, and it is, the end of the world, you should know what the world is and what it has done contrary to the world that is coming in. So that you won't later say, I didn't see nothing wrong with the people. And that if they said they were wrong, why didn't they prove this? Why didn't they prove that? Well, we're here to prove it. Let us take one in. You see, pardon me, I'm always getting short somewhere. You see that the white man's world is now dying a natural death. Everything he lays hand to is a failure. If he were ruling in righteousness according to the teachings of the prophets of old, he would be prosperous instead of being unsuccessful, even in that which he has prospered. He has prospered and been successful in his wicked ways. So now a righteous one comes, which is an enemy to the enemies of evil. He sets up his kingdom on the very base of righteousness. He gets a servant to champion his world and makes him so fine that he is declared to be like a rock, a stone that is capable of breaking up stones. And if this stone falls on that stone, grind it to powder. He's a tough stone. So if you have a stone that you want to build on, get one that won't crack if you put other stones on it. So the Bible said, symbolizing the man in a stone, he said, he's a stone. That is a tried stone. We don't make no mistake that stone won't stand up and hold the weight. We have already tried. And since we have tried the stone that we want to build on, we want this building to stand. So we built it on a stone that will stand. I'm not here just to preach to you, John went to Nineveh, but I'm here to preach you why the trip was made for John. I don't want you to think that I'm up here trying to show off. I'm up here doing my work that God sent me. You notice that here in the desert, as Moses gave us some history of his travels with Israel, and the desert, which also must be interpreted, because it all reaches back at us. And if we don't know why he was out there in the desert doing what he did, that it is a history made to reach us here today. We must prove it. So, what I'm telling you is what he prophesied. He said, the Lord thy God will rise up from among your brethren, a prophet like me. How is he like Moses?
As you can read in Jeremiah, it says, they shall no longer. We in North America here. And now you see, God said to Moses, the Lord said to Moses, he said, see, I have made you a God to Pharaoh. Well, if he say he's going to bring one up like Moses, then what do that make me? Say, so Allah have said to me, said, see, I have made you a God to these people. Huh? And if that ain't so, let me see you come in here and win an argument against me. Come on. I'm standing up talking to the whole world. And if I'm not the Lord, then how come I'm the only one talking? How come y'all ain't got nothing to say? Point out what I'm teaching that's wrong. Come in here and prove to me that I'm not the Son of Man. Come on in here and tell me who the Son of Man is. And if I can't make a lie out of what you say, I'll pay you $50,000. And I'll make a lie out of it with the scripture. For you to even attempt to say you know who the Son of Man is, the scripture calls you a lie. For the scripture said that no man know who the Son is but the Father. Neither any man the Father but the Son. Now you understand why it says I and my Father are what? Are one. Well, there's plenty of places where it tells you that Allah is one with me and I'm one with him. Why? Because he said of me, he said, and I will keep thee in the day of temptation that shall come upon all them that dwell upon the earth. Huh? Well, if he gonna keep me, that means he gonna be in my brain. The mind that's in this body. The keeper over it is Allah. Well, that's as clear as it need to get. If I made it any clearer, I would be scared. Because I think that's pretty clear. What you think? Yeah. Your mind keep your body, don't it? Well, Allah said he is going to keep me. He said, I will dwell with them and I shall be in them. Huh? Yeah. Son of man, take the book and eat it up. That's how the truth got in me. I ate it. All praises due to Allah. Let's let the messenger talk some more.
Jesus verified Moses' saying that God will send us a prophet like Moses. Well, number one, Moses went after a people that had been deceived by people. He got the hold to Pharaoh, who was an enemy to Moses and his people. And so in this history, it gives us more light on the last messenger and his work. I'm not going to preach that sermon now. I'm just catching up as I go along. What you really need, it is knowledge of understanding. For misunderstanding is the hell to man. Is knowledge of understanding. That sermon now. I'm just catching up as I go along. What you really need, it is knowledge of understanding. For misunderstanding is the hell to man.
What'd I tell you? See, I listen. I'm not a person who quiet, waiting on my time to speak. If you talking and I'm quiet, it's because I'm listening to you. Did you hear me? So as the messenger said, misunderstanding is the hell to man. Well, let me show you something. Have you ever intended to do something? Huh? Okay. Have you ever accomplished what you intended? Have you? Okay. And whenever you intend to do something, in your eyes, it's good to do it. Is that right? Okay. Well, you heard this, the world tell you. Now, have you ever intended to do something and went about to do it and failed? Huh? But you didn't intend to fail, did you? But the way you went about doing it caused you to fail, huh? Is that right? Well, then, the road to hell is paved with what? With good intentions. Yeah, makes sense now, don't it? Yeah, the road to misunderstanding. Because if you keep on doing something, not understanding what you are doing, then you live in hell. That's why you go from one generation to the next needing the NAACP. That's why you go from one generation to the next needing all of these ACLUs and all of this stuff. You go from one generation to the next needing that because they really don't have no solutions. So all they can do is treat your symptoms and wait on the symptoms to reappear so they can treat them again. But they can't cure you. They don't have no healing for you. You get with me, you won't need no NAACP. You get with me, and I guarantee you, I'll get you free. And woe to anybody who try to block it. If I cast you into hell, you will definitely understand that misunderstanding is the hell to man. Because you'll start having problems just one behind the other, and you won't have no solutions to it. The first problem you'll have, you won't be able to sleep so good. Hard to sleep when you can't relax your forehead. Feel like some tightness there and it won't go away. That'll fix you. And I tell you something else, when you lose too much sleep, pretty soon, when you're not dreaming and discarding crazy thoughts and stuff, pretty soon the subconscious and the conscious will clash with each other. And then you'll be walking around here out of touch with reality. Yeah, that's right. Allah told me that's what to do to you. He said, cast them into hell. You just speak it. He said, I'll back you up. I'll uphold what you say. And he uphold what I say. Ain't you glad that that hurricane down there downgraded to a tropical storm? Well, last thing the new president need is some more of them kind of calamities. Right now, he don't need that. He got enough calamity with this virus without having hurricanes and stuff on top of it. So, if it pleases Allah, the country can now start healing. So just, I'm so thankful that you had sense enough to elect a sane man for president. I'm so happy. You know, one while there I was like Jonah, wanting to see the destruction of this modern day Nineveh. But Allah reminded me, you better go and read that story again. Nineveh was spared. So I'm thinking that this one can be spared too. So, do right by one another. Stop following people who only try to divide you and keep you upset. Don't stop going on these old crazy websites that's always got some theory that they presenting to you of somebody that's out to get you. The wicked fleeth, and nobody chasing him, and he running. Huh? If they had taken the time, they would have already seen. If America's so bad, if the United States is so terrible, why are people trying their best to fight their way here, to running away from other countries, trying to get to America? Why? This country is kind of like that movie Field of Dreams. If you build it, they'll come. Huh? And you see, I mean, the promise that it holds out to people. They see some people are actually realizing that promise, from rags to riches. Huh? Well, you can cuss the president out and nobody bother you. Ain't that something? That's really, that's something that's worth trying to cultivate, a place where people truly try to believe in freedom. I remember I was looking at this Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio. Was that his name? And that young man sure can act up. And anyway, at the end, he was about to go get on a plane again and do his thing. And his the police that had vouched for him. Yes, what are you doing? He said, "You still running?" He said, "Look around you. Ain't nobody chasing you now." And he old habits die hard, don't they? But anyway, it's just like with these people that and Ku Klux Klan and the Po Boys, the Proud Boys, what's some more of them groups? Skinheads. They still fighting. They fighting. They carrying on a fight that's no longer. It does not even exist anymore, except in their own mind. Man, ain't nobody after you trying to kill you. Ain't nobody. Ain't got no dog in the hunt against you. That day is gone. You got your country, keep your country. Ain't nobody trying to take your country from you. At least not me. I really do believe in do unto others as you'd have others do unto you. I'm not sitting up in your country trying to undermine your government. I wouldn't want you to do that to me. You fighting the wrong one. The one who trying to undermine your government is the one that's got you up in arms against each other. You going down there plotting to kidnap the governor of Michigan for trying to protect your life from a virus that this liar done told you don't exist. You better wake up, man. Donald Trump ain't your friend. Michael Cohen thought Donald Trump was his friend. He found the truth out. Took him 10 years, but he found out the truth. Okay. All right. Suit yourself. You know, some of y'all, you think you can use him to get what you want. Well, he using you to tear up your country. And by the time you get what you want and think that you done got somewhere, you gonna mess around here and the dollar gonna be worth about as much as Confederate money was worth when the Confederacy fell. And when the U.S. fall, all your wealth ain't gonna be worth nothing. Guess Donald, if he had his way, he'd be putting his picture on the money. He'd print the money and give it to who he wants. And I mean, boy, you just don't know. You know, when you don't appreciate what you have, sooner or later you lose it. I can't even get nobody to say nothing no more. Look, I ain't gonna do nothing to you for coming in here arguing your side. All I ask is that you keep a civil tongue in your head and I want to hear the other side. I want to hear somebody else's opposing view. How do you know how strong your view is if you don't never talk to somebody that disagree with you? I didn't get these strong views that I have by refusing to talk to people. I talk to people. Yeah, I talk to folks that disagree with me. Yeah, hey, yeah, come on in, let's talk about it. You know, I ain't got nothing to lose but my ignorance. I have enough experience with the truth to know that the truth protects me. I don't protect the truth protects me. And even though I may not know the truth about a subject that you bring up, I know how to make sure that you can't deceive me on that subject. I know how to search for truth. When you search for truth, it's like building a house. If you know how to build, it don't make no difference what kind of building you building. If you know how to build, you know when something don't fit into a certain place. Huh? You just know it. When you done had some experience in building, I done had some experience in building up a mind. The mind that's in me. I had to get the material to build it. So I've learned how to build. So when you start telling me something, if there ain't no foundation for what you tell me, I say, well, wait a minute. How you come to that? Based on what? What is it based on? Huh? And then when you get mad, because I asked you a question, then I know you're lying to me. You're trying to put one over. But I'm not that kind of person that you can force feed. I ain't never been that kind of person. You know, to go along with you just to get along, go along with a pretend, or agree with something just because I didn't want to have to argue with nobody about I'm not going to agree with it. I may not say nothing. I remember the messenger said, if the truth would break the peace and cause innocent people to be hurt worse than a lie, he said, remain silent. You see? Well, that comes under to all things is a time and a season. Huh? Yeah. So.
Excuse me, Senator.
Yes?
That heirs of the Most High says if the student comments, it's to get confirmation from what he thinks of what you've been saying.
Well, there's I don't when you have something that you I'm not looking for what you call a cheering section. You notice I don't require people to be sitting out clapping for me. I know that stuff don't mean nothing. You heard all that clapping people was doing for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? And when it came time to prove that the clapping really, they really understood him and was happy for him, WD came in and started telling them just the opposite of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching. And then they start clapping for him and telling me and whoever else they run into. The same people who told me that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the messenger of Allah tried to later on tell me that he was not. You heard Minister Farrakhan say, I love him, but I don't see him as the messenger. I see Prophet Muhammad as the messenger. How in the world you see somebody that was here 1,400 years ago as a messenger of God? But the man who taught you about that man and taught you about Allah, that you told you he was a messenger, you bore witness that you believed he was a messenger. Now all of a sudden you don't see him as the messenger no more. That's somebody who went along to get along. Do you understand? I'm not that person. So, if you have a disagreement with me, I want to hear that. But I don't need you to be my rooting section or nothing. I don't need that.
And sorry, he keeps going. He says, plus Jesus or Jah is just a conversion of the spirit to a name. And that was...
No, sir. No, that's just you trying to sound intelligent instead of being intelligent. Jesus was the name of a physical messenger of God. His name was Isa. That's like saying that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that's a conversion of something. No, that's his name. His name was Elijah Muhammad. And when you try to make it into something that's just a conversion of this, a conversion, that's you just philosophizing, and I'm not interested in your philosophy. So don't do that. Don't never come to me trying to trivialize the messengers of God. They were real men. You wouldn't know nothing about no spirit if it hadn't been in somebody's flesh. Now, if you can show me a disembodied spirit, will you show it to me? These books was brought by men. Allah said in his holy Quran, he said, so set thy face for religion, being upright. The nature of the mind created by Allah, in which he has created men. In other words, by which he taught men. So don't try to trivialize those men. So, for to trivialize man is to trivialize God. For God is man. You ain't got no disembodied spook standing up here talking to you. I'm a man. Now, if you know of some creature greater than man, point them out. And until you do that, then man is the greatest. So you've been taking all these courses in school and didn't understand a word you was reciting. What did David say? Like a tree planted by the rivers of water. Finish it. I shall what? All right then. Then the truth is the irresistible force, and the man that has the truth in him is the immovable object. I didn't hear you. All right then. See? As the messenger said, yeah, you say, I don't believe in no man for God. He said, well, then show me your God. Show me what you believe in. As Jesus said, you worship that which ye know not what. We know what we worship. Why am I called the King of Kings? Why is the Lamb called the King of Kings? And I'm the Lamb. So why am I called that, the King of Kings? It is because I am the Word made flesh. I am the truth in flesh. And since the truth is the King of all kings, then I'm the King of Kings. Do you understand? I have a name written that don't nobody know but me, myself. And my name is the Word of God. And I'm the only one who understands my name. And that's written, that he had a name written. Is not the Word of God written? That no man knew but he himself. Now, if you think you understand what's written in these scriptures here, come on in here and I'm going to open up to a chapter and I will start and then I will let you take up where I left off. And if you can do it, I'll give you $50,000 and my life. If you want it, I'll give you that too. And what I mean is you bring me the pistol and I'll stick it to my own head and blow my own brains out for standing up lying. Now, will you invoke death? Put your life on what you say? Well, I'm not going to go over tonight. I think I done did what needed to be done. I want all of you to call your people that you have in Georgia and remind them to go vote. What was it, son?
Yes, sir. Ray Anarato asked, did you see the video of Kenneth Copeland and his congregation laughing like they going crazy?
Kenneth Copeland. It don't surprise me what these people be doing, man. They, you know. Huh?
He was laughing like a crazy person about Joe Biden being elected.
Laughing like a crazy person. What you mean? Was he happy or what? He's mad? Well, it's a whole lot of people that's mad, you know. I mean, you're gonna see people doing mass murder suicides pretty soon. I mean, they brought it on themselves. I just was to tell you, this offer that I'm making you is a new mind. Can't you see that I'm offering you a new way of thinking? Who besides me have you ever heard where, besides in here with me, have you ever heard the understanding of the scriptures that I'm giving? This is the mind that was in Christ. What you thought? It was some kind of joke? Let this mind be in you that was also in Christ? If you don't let this mind be in you, you ain't got no mind. Can't you see what's happening? And a brother sent me, I may have to go a little over tonight. A brother sent me something in the mail. And he called me and told me that he sent me a tape. One of the brothers did. So I'm going to see if I can pull it up. I always try to. You know, it just hit my. See if I can open it up here. Y'all give me a minute. But you know, people just stuff this. You know, people send me. But I thought
to the health and the safety of all Americans, I'm here to discuss our strategy to prevent and protect the American people from a possible outbreak. I appreciate Dr. Rich Carmona, U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Tony Fauci, Director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Scientists and doctors cannot tell us where or when the next pandemic will strike or how severe it'll be, but most agree at some point we are likely to face another pandemic. The virus has developed some characteristics needed to cause a pandemic. It has demonstrated the ability to infect human beings, and it has produced a fatal illness in humans. If the virus were to develop the capacity for sustained human-to-human transmission, it could spread quickly across the globe. Our country has been given fair warning of this danger to our homeland and time to prepare. Our strategy is designed to meet three critical goals. First, we must detect outbreaks that occur anywhere in the world. Second, we must protect American people by stockpiling vaccines and antiviral drugs, and improve our ability to rapidly produce new vaccines against a pandemic strain. And third, we must be ready to respond at the federal, state, and local levels in the event that a pandemic reaches our shores. And unlike storms or floods, which strike in an instant and then recede, a pandemic can continue spreading destruction in repeated waves that can last for a year or more. To respond to a pandemic, we need medical personnel and adequate supplies of equipment. In a pandemic, everything from syringes to hospital beds, respirators, masks, and protective equipment would be in short supply. To respond to a pandemic, the American people need to have information to protect themselves and others. In a pandemic, an infection carried by one person can be transmitted to many other people, and so every American must take personal responsibility for stopping the spread of the virus. By making critical investments today, we'll strengthen our ability to safeguard the American people. In the awful event of a devastating global pandemic, and at the same time, we'll bring our nation's public health and medical infrastructure more squarely in the 21st century. Leaders at every level of government have a responsibility to confront dangers before they appear and engage the American people in the best course of action. There is no pandemic flu in our country or in the world at this time. But if we wait for a pandemic to appear, it will be too late to prepare. And one day, many lives could be needlessly lost because we failed to act today.
The Obama administration left them a plan for how to deal with pandemics, and they tore it up. What can you say, man? I think I'll keep this one as new. Make sure that go back just in case I couldn't record it. Oh yeah, I got it. This was 15 years ago when President George W. Bush was warning about the pandemic. President Obama heeded that warning and started preparing for it. Huh? What did Donald Trump do? I like downplaying it. Why? He's a wartime president. Remember he said that? And he said against an invisible enemy, didn't he? Well, he befriended dictatorships, just like he befriended this virus and turned his back on the American people. If what I just said ain't true, then I owe you and him an apology. Now come in here and tell me what was not true about what I just said. I mean, if you don't make any effort to fight a virus when you have the ability and the people in place that could do so, and you don't order them to do it, and on top of that, you begin to tie their hands from doing it, are you not siding with the virus? President Bush didn't say hide it from the American people. He said inform them. Well, what can you say? What can you say? All right. Now, what was that other? You say what? Where was that on the internet? You say somebody was laughing or whatever. What's the name of it? Kenneth Copeland. What's his name? Spell his last name. Okay. Kenneth Copeland Ministries. Pro-Trump evangelical Kenneth Copeland laughs maniacally over media calling Biden's win. Is that it? Oh, okay. Let's see. I don't mind looking at it. He ain't ashamed of it. He did it.
Laughter is
a deterrent to pain.
Nice.
Now he said at you know what I'm saying, Hopkins University, they have proven it. And they have people that lead in laughter.
Wow.
They lead in laughter. They'll say, I don't have anything to laugh about. And they'll say, that's all right. You just go ahead. That your physical brain and body cannot tell the difference between a put-on laugh and a real belly laugh.
Wow.
It works.
Yeah.
And like I said, a merry heart does good like a medicine. So the joy of the Lord is our strength.
Yes.
So how do we count it all?
How does a man who supports Donald Trump in the same breath let the words, the joy of the Lord? What Lord? You know, Beelzebub means Lord of Flies. Do you understand? I mean, even he's qualifying his laughter with it is to make him feel better. Huh? Which means that even his laughter is a lie. Do you understand? Well, what would you expect from somebody who supports liars? Huh? Well, let me show you what the books say about him. In the I likes to give you something, things that you can hang your hat on. And so in the 21st chapter of Revelation, it says, but the fearful, this is the 8th verse, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all, now listen at it now, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. I told you, you're going to start seeing these people committing suicide.
Well, ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha. Ha, 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 ha. The Associated Press said that Joe Biden is president. Ha! Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You notice all of them sitting around there with no masks on. These is the kind of people that would tell you water ain't wet. I remember I had in junior high school, one of my woodshop teachers, Mr. Logan. Mr. Logan wasn't just a teacher, he was also a probation officer. But, we didn't mess with Mr. Logan. But one of his favorite sayings was when we do something stupid, Mr. Logan said, hey, boy, come here. You don't believe fat meat greasy, do you? And, that was his way of telling you, you mighty stupid to be doing what you're doing now. Huh? Well, okay. You see where their head is at. That virus already got them. Huh? Okay. I mean, they tell you that it can affect the brain. I mean, something is affecting their brain for them to be sitting up in a pandemic
calling a pandemic that's being shown all over the major news networks, even in the neighborhoods. You go to the hospital, you can't even go inside the hospital. They stop you at the door. And they calling that a lie. Now, is that sane? Okay, right on.
Whoa, whoa, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's gonna be president. Mickey Mouse is gonna be king. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. What can you say? What can you say? You know, and I'll tell you something else to show you the insanity. Now, most of them people, let's see when this was uploaded. When was it uploaded? Okay. All right. How much sense does it make for you to go to the poll and vote, which says you believe in the voting system, right? How much sense do it make when you hear that the count been made and your candidate lost, and you still sitting up talking about Joe Biden got as much chance of being president as Mickey Mouse got of being king? Now, is that a sane statement? Do you not see the insanity that's creeping in, which I told y'all it was coming? Didn't I tell you that if a long time ago that you better get this mind that I'm sharing with you? The mind that you have is evaporating. And while it's evaporating, it's not being replenished. That's what I'm telling you. You know what happens to water when it's in a lake or whatever it is. But if it's in a lake and it's no longer being fed by that underground spring, then it's drying up and it's becoming more and more polluted. Do you not see how these people's minds is being more and more polluted? Some of them going on this internet and finding all these old crazy ideas. Huh? What do they call them? Conspiracy theories? You remember that Alex Jones? Look at the president. YouTube had to put warnings or something on him to take some of that stuff down because he was feeding misinformation to the people. Huh? Was it Twitter? Okay. The president of the United States feeding dangerous lies to the American people that could cost people their lives, and Twitter took it down. And these people still following him. Allah said this, bring all those mine enemies that would not that I should reign over them and slay them before me. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. You always got some with that blade tell that boy. There's always some fool that think he can ice skate uphill. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Right on. You got more nerve than me. You know, Moses was scared when that death angel was passing through that. And He told them, everybody put the blood of the lamb on your doorpost, or you won't wake up. Your firstborn ain't gonna wake up in the morning. Huh? You know what firstborn represent, don't you? Now the first man, Adam, was made of what? Living soul. The last Adam was made of quickening spirit, huh? Well, everybody with nothing but the firstborn mind in them. You've been told that you need a new mind. You need to be reborn again, right? Everybody know that. It says that be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by what? The renewing of your mind. Okay. A pestilence is being sent through here. So God sent a warner. It's the scientific community says put on a mask, protect yourselves. A simple thing like putting a mask on, huh? A simple thing like put the blood of the lamb on your doorpost, huh? And lots of people didn't do it, right? Well, like I said, you're gonna see a lot of minds just gone. And you see that right there in that building there. People still getting that virus in the White House and every place else, and they still walking around here treating that deadly virus like it's nothing. Huh? Okay. Talking about you done recovered from it. Don't sound to me like you done recovered from it. Sound to me like it's taking its toll on your brain. Okay. Well, let me let y'all go. I'm gonna leave it alone. But remind if you got relatives in Georgia, call them and remind them. Hey, look, this ain't no time to take your foot off the gas. You need to get right on back up out there and send Joe Biden 2 more senators so that he will be able to bargain and try to bring some unity back into the Senate and the House of Representatives. Because if the Democrats have the control over it, they have shown themselves to be the adults in the room. Huh? So I know they wouldn't just get up there and just bowl over those Republicans. They could show them by example that, hey, we may be the majority, but we all Americans in here. Now it's time for us to do what we think is best for the country. Now, show me that what I'm trying to do is not right, and we will side with the Republicans. If you can show me how what I'm doing is not the right thing for the country. That's the way Joe Biden operates, man. So, let's give him what he needs. That's and I mean that from my heart. Give him the Senate, and you've already given him the House of Representatives. Give him the Senate to work with. Then he can negotiate from a position of strength. And in order to repair the damage that's been done to this country, he needs to be able to go in there and tell them, now look, you see, I don't have to negotiate with you. We can do it, but that don't work. We just tried that. Huh? But you can't talk, you cannot reason with a bully as long as he think he can still bully you. So send Mr. Ossoff and Mr. Wark, what's his name? That brother that's running? No, it's Warnock, huh? Warnock. Send Mr. Warnock and Mr. Ossoff up there to the Senate so that the Senate is balanced, 50-50. Now, you'll have the president able to say, now look, now I don't need to send the vice president in here to break no tie. Work it out, and let's do this together. Huh? All right. So I'm going to let you go. May Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds. And let's cool out. Not be so hard on each other. You know, take two to clown. Somebody got to have some sense. All right. So, and to our president-elect, I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for the country because you got elected. And you're not no wild card. You're not no unknown entity. We already know Joe Biden, as he told you. Say, you know me, huh? And we do know him. And we know that he's going to always do his best to do the right thing. And that is, you know, even if it's not politically right, if it's the right thing for the country, I believe he would do it. Even if it costed him his presidency, he would do it. Okay. May Allah's Salam Alaikum.